Hello everybody, welcome to this Aviation Ireland video. 2 videos in the 1 year. I know, shocking. Anyway, we're out of the VR headset today, and today I'm going to make another tutorial style video on how to fly the vertical takeoff lander that is included in the base package of X-Plane 12. Also known as ALIA, or ALIA, whoever you want to call it. ALIA anyway. And it is the eVTOL, which stands for vertical takeoff lander, which basically means that this is almost a flying car in a sense. It can take off and it can land vertically, a little bit like a helicopter. Well, actually, exactly like a helicopter. So we're in a cold and dark state at the minute, and the procedure to turning it on, it's a very, very long procedure actually. You press this button and then you're done. So that's how you start up the aircraft. And then we just need to press enter here and get us onto the map. So I'm here in Waterford, and basically there's no engine start procedure on this. Literally all it is you raise the throttle and your engines will start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically show you how to make a smooth takeoff. Now, unlike in a helicopter, because it's because there is the 4 rotors and the one on the back, it's much more even than a helicopter, which means that you won't have that spin to the left or to the right once you take off, which means that you won't have to put as much rudder in. In fact, there's no actual pedals on this aircraft. Now, I've got my pedals operating in the real world, but when I move my pedal to the left, all I'm doing is moving the joystick to the left and to the right. So that's what it looks like to take off and use the rudder. So that's just a little bit interesting. So right, we're going to release the brakes now, and what we're going to do is we're going to adjust our field of view. Here we go, field of view has been adjusted. Now, so what we're going to do is we are going to gently add some power. So we're going to increase the throttle, and while we're doing that, we're going to pull back on the joystick slightly. So we're now full throttle, and as you can see, we're now going up. Now, once we clear the building, we can reduce a bit of the throttle, and at the minute we're only flying upwards. However, once we add a little bit of forward motion, we're going to start flying forwards. However, unlike in a helicopter, we don't actually need to maintain that forward motion. If we pull back on the throttle and then go leveled out again, that momentum will stick with us, so we'll keep up that forward speed that we were doing. So if I even out now, as you can see, as long as I keep the throttle maintained, we're going to keep up that speed. So it works very similar to a helicopter in the sense that if you increase the throttle fully, you're not actually going to end up going faster, you're more going to climb. So we're climbing now, as you can see, but even if I point the nose down, we're still going to climb, and we're just going to increase our speed. So we're getting very fast now, so I'm going to reduce the throttle and add a little bit of upwards pitch, which will mean that we're going to climb a small bit, but it does mean that we're going to reduce the speed. So if we want to slow down, we just pull up a little bit and add a little bit of upwards pitch, and then reduce the throttle. So that means that we'll slow down, but because we're pulling back, if we reduce the throttle, we won't end up flying, we won't end up climbing. Now, for our turns, it's very similar to a normal aircraft. We just bank over to the left, and then this is a nice, gentle, soft turn. If you need a sharper turn, you just add a bit of rudder. And I'm adding the rudder now. And as you can see, as long as we keep up the roll, we're going to turn quite quickly. As you can see, like that. Now, for landing, there's the airport off to our left. We're going to attempt to slow ourselves down, so we're going to pull back and reduce the throttle like this. So we're going to slow down, but we're going to be maintaining our speed. So as you can see, we're just going downwards, not maintaining our speed, so maintaining our descent, not our speed. And then it's a little bit muddy and fuzzy here because it can be a little bit difficult to maintain a steady descent along with a steady altitude and a steady speed, but sort of just try and, for the initial descent, fly it like a general aviation aircraft, and then as we come closer you can then start to fly it a little bit more like a helicopter. Knowledge of flying helicopters will make this whole experience so much easier, because you know how the vertical takeoff and landings work, you know how the collective works, you know how the hovering works, etc, etc, etc. Now, for your first time, you're probably not going to be landing on a direct helipad landing spot, so instead we're just going to try and make a nice soft landing on a runway here. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce our power completely, which means it'll be very difficult to pull back on our pitch, but it does mean that we're going to lose some speed. So as we do that, we're sort of almost entering into a hover. We're just descending a little bit, and then we're going to make a little turn to the right here, and now we are going to increase our speed once again and then pitch forward, which then means that we're going to start a nice controlled approach to the runway. Now, this is a little bit like ILS practice for a helicopter with wheels. Now, we just need to be careful to keep up our throttle to ensure that we're not going to be coming hurtling into the ground, but also make sure that our speed is nice and low, because we're going to try and make a hover landing, and that can be quite difficult if your speed is quite fast, obviously. So what we're going to do now is we're going to increase the throttle while also pitching up, which means that we will reduce the speed. So now we'll come quite slow, so we're just going to gently increase the throttle as we're going down, and then just gently reduce the throttle a little bit, and we're down. And then we'll just apply the brakes. And that's basically it for flying it. As you can see, our loop there was just a little loop around. And that's basically all there is to flying this aircraft. So it's very easy. Now, of course, if you really wanted to, I haven't tried it actually myself, but if you really wanted to, you could probably set yourself up for an ILS or for... now, don't quote me on that, because I have not tried it. I've only tried VR4 flying. But if you wanted to try to do this IR4, it does look to be IR4 ready with all the instruments. So, but again, do not quote me on that. Now, of course, back here we do have a good bit of space for maybe search and rescue, maybe cargo. That's just what that's up to you on how you want to simulate it. But that's it in terms of flying it. Now, of course, as you get better, you'll be able to start. Now, I'm no expert whatsoever, but as you get a little bit better, you will be able to start landing on more exact positions. For example, now, if I make a very low hover towards the helipad in Waterford, if I just hover across the grass here, again, I'm no expert, so the chances are I won't even make it that far without already landing. But as you get a little bit better, you will find yourself being able to do that, and then once you're able to do that with the VTOL, it does make it a hell of a lot more fun to be able to fly, just because it's such a unique aircraft to be able to fly. Now, we're a little bit too fast here, so we do need to slow down a little bit. But it is a really, really fun aircraft to fly, especially in this manner of sort of helicopter style instead of sort of cross-country flying, which I'm sure you could also do, because it can get quite fast. But as I said, you know, once you're able to do this and land in tight airports and on mountain tops and stuff with this, it does open a whole new world of VR4 flying, just because of how much uniqueness there is with this aircraft, and you know how fun it is to fly, because it is an interesting aircraft to fly. Now, we just need to see, this is the difficult part, because there's no GPWS call outs or anything like that, like they're like the same in the Cessna, because there's no GPWS call out, so it is difficult to sort of predict when you're going to be touching the ground, because you have to be careful not to touch the ground before you make it to your landing spot, of course. Now, again, you probably could just do it to a runway and make that your flight, and that's that. But it can make it a little bit more fun if you're, you know, making your way all the way over to a landing spot like this, and we'll just gently kiss the ground. That was not gentle at all, but we did land. So anyway, yeah, so that is more or less the gist of what this video was. So that's that. So thank you all so much for watching. If you made it this far, please subscribe, and I will see you whenever I make another video. Bye bye.